Visions of the Black Heaven, Chapter 12. Duke and Thor watched the two police cars leave. Duke spoke with a tone of disgust. "I have to replace the things that stupid hillbilly damaged." Duke used the skill of the Special Forces to draw a map to the cabin. "We'll meet you there in a little bit." Following the map, Thor headed towards the cabin. He went into the woods through a seldom used path. Rounding a curve, he saw a bright spot shining in the corner of his eyes. He heard someone's voice shout, "Stop!" Without thinking, he stomped on the brakes, coming to a complete stop. The same voice spoke, "Left, 100 meters." Getting his stick, he walked silently left. A young woman with long brown hair, dressed in jeans, hiking boots, long-sleeved flannel shirt, knelt at the trunk of a tree. She was examining the foliage, tree bark, ferns, and mushrooms on the forest floor. Beyond her, 3 adolescent boys with animalistic looks of lust was watching her. Laughing, they figured that they were so far away from anyone that they could have their way with this woman, and no one would ever know what happened, much less who did it. Thor circled around between the woman and the boys. When the boys were ready to attack, Thor stepped into the open. In his military voice, he said, "Boys, she's with me. Now pack your happy ass back down the mountain. Get out of here." Unaware of what was going on, she heard a strange voice. Looking, she saw a tall, blond military man standing fully erect and holding a large stick in one hand. He was looking intently at something behind her. Turning around, she saw 3 filthy-looking boys with expressions of sexual prowess on their faces. Lynette hesitated for a moment, looking back up into Thor's eyes. She saw a man with a stern face of authority, a stance of power, beautiful bright blue eyes protecting her. She felt like this man had a clear soul and a clean heart. Thor looked down at Lynette. He saw a woman with shoulder-length chestnut brown hair with a thin strand of white coming off of her hairline just over her right eyebrow. A lock of white hair was elegantly tucked behind her right ear. "Yes, I'm with him," Lynette shouted. "Now leave me alone!" She took a longer look at the man who had just saved her. He wore a military uniform and had insignias what she believed was a captain. The largest and looked to be the oldest boy decided he was not going to let an old man get in the way of their fun this afternoon. He charged. Thor stepped aside, grabbed the kid's shoulder with one hand, and threw him. The kid landed with a hollow thud into a large thicket of long-thorn berry bushes. The kid lay on his back, whimpering, wanting his friends to help him. But the other 2 took off running away to get away from this giant of a man, leaving the bigger kid to fend for himself. Thor looked at Lynette and said, "We gotta go. They'll be back with firearms. We need to be long gone before they return." Thor took Lynette's hand and led her toward the Humvee. "But my car's that way." Thor rolled his eyes. "It'll be all right. We'll get it later. Right now we got to go." Lynette jumped into the passenger seat as Thor started the engine and sped off toward the cabin. Lynette cleared her throat. "I appreciate you coming to my rescue, but where are you taking me?" Thor understood her apprehension. "We're going to meet a friend of mine and his gal at his cabin just up the road." She nodded and understood, but was still concerned about her situation.